You don't freeze to death because it's cold. You freeze to death because you sleep wrong.
Moonlight spills through a cracked window. That sounds dramatic.
But for thousands of people, soldiers, settlers, explorers, that single mistake meant they never woke up.
And the ones who did wake up, they all slept the same way.
But not how you think. Picture this. It's midnight.
The fire's out. The walls are ice. Your breath hangs in the air like smoke. You're wrapped in blankets. Thick ones. Heavy ones. And yet, you're still cold. That's the part people don't understand. Cold doesn't kill you while you're awake. It kills you when you lie still.
Your body heat drops. Your muscles stop moving.
And suddenly, the warmth you thought you had disappears. Here's the scary part. Most people who froze indoors didn't run out of blankets. They ran out of air control.
Because warmth isn't about how much you pile on top of yourself. It's about what you trap around yourself.
And that brings us to an idea so simple, it almost feels stupid. Almost. We grow up believing one thing: more blankets times more warmth.
That works until it doesn't. See, blankets don't create heat. Your body does. Blankets only do one job. They slow down how fast your heat escapes.
But here's the twist. If the heat escapes sideways or downward, it doesn't matter how many blankets you stack on top.
And in frozen houses, heat escapes everywhere. The floor steals it. The walls steal it.
The air steals it. So people adapted. Not with better blankets,
With better sleeping setups. And once you see it, you'll never look at a bed the same way again. Let's start with the worst mistake. Sleeping on the floor. Cold floors act like giant heat sponges.
They don't just feel cold, they actively pull warmth out of you. In Arctic expeditions, soldiers noticed something terrifying.
Two men, same clothes, same blankets. One slept on a raised surface.
The other slept on the ground. One survived the night. One didn't.
So they stopped sleeping on floors. And if they couldn't avoid it, they built the floor first. Straw, wood, branches, even folded paper, anything that trapped air.
Because air, still air, is the real insulation. And this leads to the first rule of survival sleep.
Never let your body touch the ground. But that's only step one. Because even off the ground, people were still freezing. Until they changed one more thing. This part feels creepy. But it worked. In medieval Europe. In Siberia. In frontier cabins. People didn't sleep in open beds.
They slept in boxes, curtains, panels, low ceilings, tight spaces.
At first glance, it looks uncomfortable, claustrophobic, like a coffin.
But that was the point. Because a big room is impossible to heat with one human body.
A small space? That's different. When you shrink the air around you, your body heat doesn't have anywhere to go. So people created micro rooms just for sleeping. Beds with walls, beds with doors, beds with fabric enclosures. You weren't heating the house, you were heating 6 square feet of air.
And once that air warmed up, it stayed warm.
This is why old paintings show entire families sleeping in what looks like a wooden closet. Not because they liked it.
Because it kept them alive. But there was still a problem.
Moisture. Here's something nobody tells you. Sweat in the cold is deadly.
When you sleep, your body releases moisture, breath, skin. Tiny amounts, but enough. In open air, it's fine. In enclosed warmth, it builds up. And wet insulation? That's a heat thief.
So the smartest sleepers did something strange. They vented their warmth.
Tiny gaps. Cracks at the top. Just enough airflow to let moisture escape.
But not enough to let heat run away. It wasn't airtight, it was controlled. That balance, warm but dry, was the difference between comfort and hypothermia. And now we get to the part that sounds insane. This one makes modern people uncomfortable.
But historically, it was normal. People slept together, not for intimacy, for survival. One body produces heat. Two bodies double it.
Three bodies change the entire thermal equation. In freezing houses, families slept in clusters.
Soldiers shared sleeping pits. Explorers pressed shoulder to shoulder.
Not because they wanted to, because isolation meant death. There's even a term explorers used, human insulation.
Human insulation. And it worked. But there was a rule. Never overdress.
This feels backward, so stay with me. Sleeping in heavy clothes traps sweat.
Sweat turns cold. Cold steals heat. So people strip down. Not naked, but lighter. Dry layers. Breathable layers.
And the real insulation stayed outside the body. Blankets, furs, enclosures.
Your body stayed dry. The air stayed warm. And the system worked.
This wasn't comfort. It was physics. And the people who ignored it?
They paid for it. Even how you slept mattered. Curled up.
Knees drawn in. Limbs close to the core. Why?
Because your arms and legs lose heat faster than your chest. So people instinctively adopted the fetal position. Not because it felt cozy, because it conserved energy. Still. Compact. Efficient. Sleeping flat and spread out in a frozen house was like leaving the door open. So let's put it all together. Here's the sleeping setup that kept people alive.
Raised surface. Never on bare ground. Insulation underneath.
Straw, wood, fabric, anything trapping air. Enclosed sleeping space.
Curtains, walls, low ceilings. 4. Shared heat when possible. People or even animals.
5. Dry, breathable clothing. No sweat, no moisture. 6. Small ventilation gap. Moisture out. Heat in. 7. Curled sleeping position. Core protected.
That's it. No technology. No electricity. No heaters.